Christ almighty. Are you alright, sir?
Here we go again.
It's just that you look...
Muscular, wise, wealthy.
I'm sorry, sir. I just wasn't expecting it. I didn't mean it badly.
I know very well what you meant. I have had this conversation at least 100 times. Have you never heard of Prester John or the Christian kingdom of Axum?
Yes. Our parish priest talked about that.
Tell me then, how the people in those stories are described. Not exactly like you. Am I right?
But I thought that was just...
So you see, it is not. Musa of Mali is my name. Scholar, explorer, and physician. I run the camp infirmary.
my name is Henry, sir.
Welcome then, Henry. Do you need anything?
You said you're an explorer.
I did indeed. From Timbuktu, I went to Holy Mecca. From the Emirate of Granada to Venice. And from there to the court of Sultan Bayezid of the Osmans. Until I ended up at the court of King Sigismund.
Where is this Mali? And what's it like?
Similar to your country, yet completely different. You mine silver, we gold. But in our country, it would never happen that we allow foreigners into our mines. Overall, it is safer in our country. Nobody will waylay you on your journey. And we treat women with greater respect and set great store by learning.
That's not all that bad here, though, is it?
I admit that there are some things I envy you for. Like what you can do with stone.
What is Mecca like? I've heard people from all over the world go there.
Mainly followers of the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. Praise be his name. But the journey is dangerous. I was robbed and arrived in the city as a pauper. Fortunately, I was helped by a couple of my compatriots. But even so, I did not spend long there. Let us say that I was foolish then, and foreign customs took me by surprise. I went to Cairo, where I learned geography and law, so that I would be better prepared the next time. But I never went back to Mecca.
Why not?
I would rather not talk about this, my friend. All I can say is that there are a few rich men and their beautiful wives who I do not want to meet again.
You were in Granada? Where is that?
Go west from here until you reach the sea, then south to a place called Peninsula Iberica. But I would not go there if I were you. The magnificent Alhambra Palace is forbidden to Christians like you. It is a pity in any case. Such a beautiful and rich country, yet bathed in so much blood.
Blood?
Yes. Sultan Muhammad must constantly repel attacks from the north. That is why I started studying physics, in fact. I wanted to make an impression on the Sultan because swords and cannons are not for me. Let others cut off heads. I can sew them back on again.
Where is Venice, in fact?
You do not know, my friend? Educate yourself a little. It is not far from here, on the other side of the Alps. Remember that learning is like a garden. If you do not tend it, it cannot bear fruit. Venice is an incredible city that floats on the sea, like a huge stone ship. People from all over the world go there to trade. I help them as a translator, especially for Christian envoys from Ethiopia on a pilgrimage to Rome. If only you could have seen their glorious arrival in the city. Their procession stretched from the port to the city center, and they had live leopards as a gift for the king of Venice. But I did not stay long. I, who was accustomed to the Sultan's court, being asked to live among sailors? Out of the question.
How did you come to be with the Osmans?
By complete chance. In Venice, I joined an expedition that was heading to India, but we were attacked by pirates. Fortunately, I was saved by Sultan Bayezid's warship, though it did not seem like good fortune at the time. You must understand that there are not many of my countrymen among the Osmans. The last time was probably in the days of Mansa Musa, but the Sultan soon found out that I had lived among Europeans and I could talk to all the envoys who came to him. So I became useful.
So why didn't you stay there?
Because we were about to be overwhelmed by the Golden Horde, led by the butcher named Timur. I had quite enough of war in Granada. So when envoys from Hungary came to the Sultan, I managed to persuade them to take me away with them.
What's Sigismund's court like?
I would also like to know that, my friend. But I am stuck here. One would think that the king would value physicians and sages who have traveled the world. But no. He did not even make me his personal physician. He prefers to trust your quacks and sent me here.
It's reckless to speak about Sigismund like that.
I do not think so, my friend, since it is unlikely you will ever get a chance to complain to him.
And how do you like Bohemia?
Do you want to hear the truth? Or should I praise it to high heaven?
The truth. You don't need to spare my feelings.
Then, all I can say is that this muddy hill is about the only thing I have seen of your country. And that has not made much of an impression on me. But there is still time. Perhaps I will have the good fortune to see more beautiful sights.
Why did you leave your country of birth?
That is a very personal question. And we are not that well acquainted yet. Forgive me, but I would rather not talk about it. Not now, at least.
I'm new to the camp. Could you show me around? If you don't have too much work, that is.
Well, I suppose it will be all right, if I am not here for a while. At least I can practice your language. You use some strange phrases, you know? But that does not matter now. Let us go. So, as you have no doubt realized, this is my infirmary. One part for operating on the wounded, another for the sick, my alchemist bench, a tub of water. Nothing out of the ordinary. Come on, let us walk outside. I am sorry that I cannot show you more, but I am sure you understand that there is not much to see. One is almost ashamed to call it an infirmary. Do you not think?
That's true. I thought King Sigismund would take better care of his wounded men.
Unfortunately for them, my friend, I suppose he has bigger problems than keeping his army healthy and fighting fit.
It's lucky he sent an expert like you here, though.
Excuse me.
Was that praise or an insult? I cannot tell. I do not think it fortunate in any case. Someone with my knowledge, and all I do is treat diarrhea and broken bones.
Well, a camp like this is a waste of your abilities. An uneducated orderly could take care of the handful of sick people here.
And you would like to take over from me? I could find another job, though it is true that you do not seem to be any great sage. I suppose you do not know what a real infirmary should look like. But do not worry. There are more cheerful places in the camp. I am sure something will take your fancy. This part of the camp is mainly for humans. So if you are looking for one, he will be either here or near the bathhouse. We will take a look there too. Do not worry. Over there is the pen where they used to have tournaments, until the captains banned them. But that is a long story. Speaking of the captains here, do you know who is in charge overall?
I've no idea.
You should put that right then. What if you come across one of the commanders and bump into him by mistake? He might have your back flayed by a cane. I would not like to have to stitch you back together. The camp as a whole is run by Sir Grozav or Borumlaka. That is a village somewhere in Transylvania, as far as I know. He is an interesting man, I'm sure. But he has a lot of trouble with the camp. So he tends to be, as you say, grumpy. Then there are the humans who are commanded in battle by Cheritan. You will not meet him very often. He often has meetings with the king himself in Zedlets. He is not a very cheerful man, but he seems a fair-minded commander to me. And he is an outstanding archer, it seems. How about you and archery, my friend?
Well, I don't want to boast, but I'm a pretty good archer.
Good
I would
boy.
happily take on your
Good
charity.
boy.
Really?
I'm sorry.
That sounds like a spectacle that I would perhaps even pay to watch. Perhaps. Although I successfully avoid weapons, I have to admit that archery is not just a skill. It is an art. Well, there is enough of that. What were we talking about?
You were telling me about the commanders here.
Ah, yes. The camp captains. As I said, Sir Grozav commands the camp. Chertan commands in battle. And the third one joined us a few weeks ago. Dietrich Katz, with his Prague artillery regiment. It is a pity you will not be staying for longer. Dietrich is good to talk to, if he is not drinking too much. And over there is our bathhouse. It is not a sight for sore eyes, my friend. I mean, the women, of course. Not this filthy place. Ah, a man should keep reminding himself that zina, what you call fornication, is a shameful deed, opening the road to other evils.
Damned rain!
By the way, what about you and women, my friend?
Well, there's one here I think about. But I'd rather not talk about that.
Why? Are you afraid that I will steal her from you?
No, it's not that, but... Well, I'm still not sure if she likes me as much as I like her.
I am sure she does. You will see. That is the way of the world. Our Lord Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, creates us in pairs and grants us love in our hearts, so that we may love another.
So are you married, sir? Since you say how wonderful it is.
No, not yet. What woman would want to spend her life traveling with me? But being single does not permit sinning with any girl who takes your fancy. Remember that. Fortunately, a man can help himself in his hour of need. At least if he thereby prevents a worse sin. By the way, your chosen one. Is she pretty?
So beautiful you can't help but stare.
All the more reason to marry her before someone else does. So, in this part of the camp, you see the tents of various mercenaries from Germany, Poland, Hungary. In short, everyone who came to fill their pockets. You can have items repaired by the smith, and if you're hungry, the kitchen is over there. The food will please you more than me, I think. Treating meat in that way. I simply cannot eat it. Do you know where the food is truly great? In Granada. So much fruit, sweet pastries, fish. In one banquet, the cooks use more spices than your entire country in a year.
You've been to Granada?
In the court of Sultan Muhammad VII himself. That is where I became a physician. That was when Granada was attacked by Martin Yanez de la Barbuda. And I did not want to die in some battle. So I found a safer way to be useful. You know, I have done a lot of traveling, my friend. From Timbuktu to Mecca. And from Granada to Venice. And now, here. But nowhere has the food been worse than here.
I'd like to try some foreign delicacy.
That will be difficult. The local inns serve nothing but porridge and old bread. But maybe you will see the world one day and find out that there are more flavors than just salt and honey. But your country is beautiful, all the same. And up here is where Katz's company of Prague artillerymen are billeted. To the great displeasure of everyone else in the camp, I must say. You can see why. It is the best spot, right next to the captains. And when it rains, all the filth runs downhill to the Cumans and mercenaries areas. Here is the pillory. May Allah, the compassionate, ensure you never end up in it. And if you go around the hill, you will come to the camp shooting range. I recommend visiting it. The Cumans must be born with a bow in their hands. But I will not escort you that far, my friend. I do not like to leave the infirmary unattended for long. Alaka Anben.
I saw an arena in the camp. When will there be a tournament?
Firstly, I would not call it a tournament. Rather, Mindless hacking. Not even a Chogan is so terrible. And, to answer your question, there will not be any. The commanders wisely banned them.
What's that Chogan then?
A riding game. Very hard and dangerous. 2 teams of riders with wooden mallets try to get a leather ball into the opponent's goal. Whoever does so more times wins.
And what's so dangerous about that?
When the mallet lands on your head, in any case, nothing teaches you how to ride a horse better than Shogun.
Why did they ban the tourneys?
Because it went too far. Instead of matching skills, people settled scores with each other. They killed each other from rage and also from boredom. Since the tournament was banned, I have a lot less work with mending fractures.
What did you mean by mindless hacking? It's a tourney, isn't it?
Merely dumb violence for its own sake. It is not chivalrous like Furussia.
What does that mean? Furussia?
Furussia, the skill set of an Arab warrior. Where I come from, every fighter must be able to ride a horse and take care of its injuries and illnesses. In addition, he should also be able to hold his own when fighting with a spear and a sword. And of course, excel in archery. And above all, he must not be a coward, but on the contrary, an honorable man.
Furussia sounds to me like the chivalry of every good knight. Maybe with the exception of that horse medicine of yours.
Really?
But a good Christian knight should also know how to dance, play chess, and write poetry.
Very interesting. It is a pity. I have not met many like that. Those are all true wisdoms. Also in the name of Allah.